Hey, it's Dr. Blake. Welcome to this morning's broadcast here with the Actionable Financial Literacy and the a Blake Media Company, a Blake Media Company. And today, got some great information. Had a little bit of technical challenges, but we were able to work that out. And we're going to get going here shortly, and bring on uh, main speaker, the main information you're going to get for today. And so, just want to remind everybody that next month, September, we're going to be having um, our seminar, the Actionable Financial Literacy and Cash Flow seminar. So you want to make sure you're able to be there and see that and get to see what's being shared there. I have the address and the location at the end, so you'll have that. And I got some amazing things planned. I also have an announcement about my new book that's coming, and something that comes along with it that'll be available with it. And hey, we'll talk about that later. But next, I want to bring on um, a mentor of mine. I have two main mentors. One is Phil Cox. He was from my business side, and when as I'm in business. Then the second one was my pastor, Dr. Alfred, his apostle, Dr. Alfred Craig Sr. When I met him, it just changed my life. It really did. And we're opening up a new church, and he'll be able to tell you a story and everything. But my interaction with Pastor changed everything. I went from riding a Jingle Jangle, a lot of you guys remember Jingle Jangle, to now I have my Tesla that's paid off. So with no further word, I'm going to go ahead and bring Dr. Craig here.
Well, hello, Joe.
How you doing, Dr. Craig?
I'm blessed. How are you, sir?
Excellent. So
Good, excellent.
yeah, so I know you have a lot of things going on, and for those of my listeners that don't know, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, sir? A little background about you.
All right. Well, I'll just get my little screen set up there. But again, thank you so much for letting me be a part. My name is Dr. Alfred Craig. Born, raised in Arizona, a little small town called Coolidge, Arizona. My father was a farmer. I went to school there in Coolidge, Arizona. After Coolidge, I became a hairdresser, and in Phoenix, and I was a hairdresser for 20 long years. But during that time of being a hairdresser, God called me into the ministry. And after about 2 years of struggling and trying to figure out my direction in my life, my purpose, God called me to pastor a church. And so I started pastoring the church. And after 15 years of pastoring the church, I said, God, I've been going for a long time, but I believe it's time for me to find my purpose. You follow me? I want to be able to understand, God, why am I here? I mean, I'm preaching, I'm doing hair like that. And God told me, this is back in 1990, to take a moment to go to school and learn from somebody. Because they told me that if you're not doing and getting the results that you want, and you see somebody else getting those results, then find out what they're doing to get those results. You follow me? So 1990, my wife and I, we left, we went to school, and again, set up there some great men of God like Kenneth Hagin and Apostle Frederick Casey Price. Came back to things in 1993, and God, our life was totally revolutionized. Ministry started growing around the world, and was during that time that I met Dr. Joe Blake and his family. Matter of fact, I believe I married you all.
Yes, you did, sir.
It's just a great blessing. So been in ministry for 45 years now. Hairdresser for 20 years, ministry for all those times. And I'm excited about being here today with Dr. Joe Blake. It's a great honor, sir, to be here with you today.
Oh, yes. Same here, sir. Same here. Now, my first thought for you is that we're opening a new location here, coming back to Phoenix, and it's called the 1 Hour Church. Could you tell us,
yes,
what is the 1 Hour Church?
Names change sometimes as your progress and God gives you understanding. Back in 1996, when I first started my church, it was called Life Tabernacle Christian Center. You follow me? And it was called, I said, because it was a tabernacle. So I just kind of put that name in there. Then in while we were at ministry school, back in 1990 to 93, as I was seeking God, Lord, church name Life Tabernacle, but then God gave me a revelation at that time. and it was AZ USA. He gave, well, I was told, he said, I want you to go back to Arizona. I want you to set up a ministry training institute, and through that school, I want you to equip people as apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers, ministry of helps. Through them, churches are being established around the world. So I've done that for the last 30 years. But then here lately, after traveling around the world, and God, I'm looking at what is my next, God. What do you want me to do now? I did a lot around the world, pastor, thing like that. About 6 years ago, God led me to come to Las Vegas. I never prayed about Las Vegas. God led me to come to Las Vegas. I thought I was coming to start a church then, but I found out, number one, God was sending me here to rest. Amen. Like an eagle, I needed to rest. But number two, God gave me my next assignment in those areas. Because being a minister of 45 years in ministry, I've seen so many things that are in the church that's not really a part of what we would call the Church of Christ.
Okay.
A lot of things are going on traditionally and religiously. And the Lord put in my heart, he says that I want you to, what I call, trim the fat. And so, because many times churches, they go on for an hour, 2 hours long, a lot of church antics that are really not designed around exalting Jesus. I'm not putting nobody down or anything.
Right.
But God began to say to me, he said, I want you to trim the fat. And that is that we said a 1 hour church would mean this. We were going to trim the fat, not have a whole lot of extra things other than things that's going to glorify God. Where we would have a good, strong praise and worship time, a good time of fellowship, a good word, and let God's people go from that point.
Amen.
And let people go out there encouraged and things like that, ready to come back to church. So the 1 hour church really is designed to give God 1 hour of your life to get inspired, to get fed, to be encouraged, and go out there and change the world. That's what the 1 hour, because like I said before, I did a lot of different things, but this one is designed to draw people, because Joe, we just came out of COVID.
COVID, right?
And people were not, when after COVID, they were not ready to come back to 2 and 3 hour services.
Right.
Most people that used to being online through YouTube, through Facebook, and things like that, and so things changed. And I was saying, God, what are the changes you want me to have in this? And God says, 1 hour church is going to be the solution to bring people back, and where they're not going to be tired, they're going to get a good word without a lot of fluff. So that's what it's all about. That's what 1 hour church is all about, Joe.
So this is going to be a positive approach, you feel, and it's going to be able to influence it in the community. How you see the positive influence happening?
Well, in the community, as I said, people are looking for results now. They're looking for answers now. They're not used to just, especially this new age, this new group, like we call the millennials and people. Mm-hmm. People are wanting results now. They're not into a lot of the different traditions that we've had before. So the community, as far as the community is concerned, we're bringing something to the community that's an answer to bringing peace back. People are going through a lot of financial issues in their lives. And God has anointed me to bring answers to people's financial issues in their lives. Mm-hmm. My wife and I have been married for over 48 years. Mm-hmm. So we're able to help people that are struggling in marriages and things like that. We've raised 6 children. You follow me? And so we can help people as far as family is concerned. So we really bring some answers, not just hope you make it. We can give people because we can give people some solid answers on how to grow, how to be a good family, how to start a business. That's what you're coming in at.
Yes,
the business side of it. And so really helping people get to where they are to where they really want to be in their lives, both in their spiritual life and their area, Joe.
All right. So the tools that are going to be we're going to have available for believers to get that. What are some of the tools or skills or maybe schools or what you have planned?
Well, what I'm going to do, what we're going to do, Joe, is one thing that God has always given me is educational answers. Mm-hmm. So the first tool is a strong, powerful service on Sunday morning. Then on the back end of that, I've got 2 major programs I have. Number one, we call MTI, or DTI, which is the discipleship training program, where people that are just coming in can develop in the foundational things of Christianity. Then we got a ministry training institute that can take people to help them discover their call in life, fulfill their purpose and their destiny. Then on top of that, we got individuals that are coming in that, my God, making $15 an hour, but we're going to help people get into business, their own businesses. And so that's what you're going to come in with our ABI, what's our Actionable Business Institute.
That's
And
correct.
that way we can take people that really, so I want more than a 15-hour job, because that's people can only get an apartment with $15 an hour.
Right.
So we're going to help people get into their own businesses, establish their own businesses and things like that. And we got to hope, and both of those are 1-year program. So in the 1-year program, you're going to be able to either learn about God and develop your call. You're going to also be able to, we have a business institute going to come to help you. That in 1 year, you're going to be able to get into your own business. We're going to be mentoring you in all those different areas. We're going to have seminars to help people grow and give them a future in their lives.
Right. And because of with the Business Institute, when I first came to Azusa back then, 25. We were married You married us 25 years ago. That's how long.
Yes.
But I was there a couple of years before my wife. When I got there, I was a firefighter. So I was.
Yes, I remember that.
I was a firefighter. I was stationed out at Luke Air Force Base. So I went from firefighting to where I am today. And it started, sir, when I was going through MTI, and I would, see my classmates there, defining what your purpose is and for God. And at the same time, I had just started learning a new skill about finance and investing. And then you were talking about biblical prosperity, and I was like, man, I'm hearing it here. I'm hearing it from my other mentor over there, and that's you can change your life that way. And it changed my life. So it's a learning process. So we're going to do our best to reach out to the millennials out there. So what are some of the concerns that you feel that the millennials are having?
Hopelessness.
Okay.
I see them very aggressive. I see them in this new age of, you ask them something, they say, let me Google it. You follow me? They really want solid answers. Yeah, and I see them really struggling. I go to this one restaurant sometimes, and I tell people all the time, I'm going here to see the people because I want to see the reality of what they're going through.
Right.
Because sometimes we could be in the church and we really don't see what people are going through, except we said, man, why don't you put that dress down? Why don't you do that? But I like going to places where I can see them in the raw. And what I find is them they're wanting to look like they have something, but they really are lost in the far as know some things to do. Right. And so I see a great need among these millennials, and then the single people, because most of them, they're trying to make it on $15 an hour. Some of them, they got children and the husband or the boyfriends want to help them out, and apartments is up to like $2,000 a month, and if you got kids and $2,000 a month, and you got a car payment, waiting on the government to help them has been trial. So men are forced almost to live with a man. You follow me? Or to try, do something on the side crooked. It's a great problem out there. And that's why we want the ministry school, but also the Business Institute to help these millennials that give them some hope. You know what I mean? In those areas. Because Joe, I've been in business there since I was 18 years old. I was a hairdresser since I was 18 years old.
Right.
And so I understand the power of business. And what business can do in your life, and I know that that's what these millennials need, because they don't want just religion. Give me some answers. So that's what I really see.
Right. Now, see what you mentioned that, because I remember, like I said, when I got there, my kids were like babies, and I learned, what you were sharing, what you were teaching, and everything to teach my kids, and like all of them. You made this one. You say a lot of things, Dr. Craig, that everybody kind of remember. It's like sticks with us. And when I say this, I know everybody's going to remember it. You said you have to be who you are, so others that are come looking for you know who you are when they see you. And then for you
got it.
And your children, you said you have to be what you want your children to become. And so a lot of times, like the millennials out there may not see anybody who's been where they want to become. And when I met your ministry, I was like, man, that's good. I mean, that's exactly right. And I was like, okay, I want my babies to be. I have to be what I want them to become.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, that put it on me to change. So it's always something digital to change. And so I have my doctorate. All my kids have masters, and It's because
Wonderful.
for what I learned, how I get engaged with MTI, the Business Institute. That's how it all changed. And at that time, I was 30. Well, I was 32. I'm not 30.
That's a millennial. You were like a millennial at that time.
Yes, that's the exact
Yes.
age. So, I mean, I think about that, and that's when Jesus started, right? 30.
Yes, same thing. Jesus was a millennial.
He started at that age, and that's when it started.
That's it.
Off right there. So, are we looking at any type of online learning process to help, biblical learning and business learning process?
Oh, definitely. So one of the things that I've learned since over this last 6 years being in Las Vegas, and then when COVID happened, I had to learn online ministry.
Okay.
Because up until that time, I was traveling. Remember when we were there back years ago? We would have MTI, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a day, and people were able to come to the churches and like that. But during COVID, all that shut down.
It did.
And so I learned a whole new world of doing a business, doing ministry, doing classes online, and being able to put it on that in a professional way, where they can go online and we can send them links, and so even in the comfort of their own home and on their own schedule, now we can still get it to them, because that's something that's really, especially COVID forced us to do it.
It did.
You follow me? But everything shut down. But the millennials are used to that though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Give it to me online. Let me take it on my cell phone. You follow me? So we've got a system in place now where they can do it online. Some who can do it live, but then others can, because of their schedule, they got kids. Some can, they can take an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening, or whatever there. So you have everything we're doing now as far as the Ministry Institute and also the Actionable Business Institute will all be online, so they can take it. And again, in 1 year, we're going to have them to the point they can go out in life and be something. But on top of that, we're going to have other mentoring programs for them to continue on.
That is correct. So, so we got the ABI, which is the Actionable Business Institute. We got the MTI and the discipleship. So, what do you think the cost? Is there a major cost, or I think more of anything just be time, because then money is absent of value. Long as you're getting value from it.
Yeah, and that's it, Joe. Because one of the things that God put in my heart years ago, when I'm not sure if you was a part of the ministry at that time. At that time, we had a heavy cost on it, and a lot of students were really struggling. And then God put it in my heart for those students that will come and commit themselves, then let them come. Don't turn nobody away, and just use it as an offering basis.
Right.
Because it's a Jesus sponsored program. You follow me?
Right.
And he told me, because I'm sponsoring it, if teach them how to tithe, you know what I mean, and then teach them how to give offerings, and then let their faith grow, because that way, instead of paying a debt that they owe, they're giving a seed that they're sowing.
Right.
And I saw many students grow as we taught them the principles of seed time and harvest in those areas, versus and nothing wrong with colleges that do that. I'm not putting that down.
Right.
But this is a ministry, a Jesus-centered thing, and that way people can come. If you're coming off the streets and you ain't got no money at all, we can put you right in class.
Right. Yes.
But if you listen to the business classes, this is elementary school, you're not gonna be broke too long. No. You follow me?
No.
And that way, nobody's gonna be turned away.
Yeah.
Nobody's turned away.
Right. That is awesome. So the community, we can look forward to that and know they're going to get some information. And quite a lot of business owners that will come in for the ABI. I mean, they'll be professionals themselves, and they've been through a lot.
Yes.
I've been an investment advisor for 30 years now. It's 29 and a half, but 30 years in January. And all that time I did part-time, full-time. I learned a lot. I mean, like I said, when I was in MTI, I was in the front row, especially when it came to prosperity.
Yeah.
To get it from me. And that's how I wrote my research. And my book was based on a lot of things that I learned and gained from yourself. So, and you can be there in person, or you can getting online is a lot easier, because you ain't got to drive here, there.
Yeah.
Yeah. so that saves them. So how can the someone who wants to reach the ministry or get involved or start to go to the grand opening for the church, how can they do that?
The grand opening for the church is going to be September the 10th. And we're going to have it there. It's going to, there you go right there. It's going to be September the 10th. We're going to have it at the Holiday Inn Suites, and then we're going to also have a brunch right after that on September the 10th. A free brunch. The brunch will be free too. And you can come. There's a QR code right there. You can use a QR code to register. And you said, why we got to register to go to church? It's not for the church, it's for the brunch, because we want to make sure that we account for you coming. The brunch is free. It's going to be September the 10th, 9 a.m., brunch 10 a.m., good time, good fellowship in those areas. And the following week after that, we're going to be starting the MTI program. And we're going to be starting the Business Institute. Because like Joe said, those two together is what made a difference. So use that QR code right there and register. You can bring you, your family, your friends, everybody can come and be a part of that, because we're coming with answers. We're not coming to start a church. We're coming with answers, solutions to what you're going through today, to get you from where you are to where God, the dream that God has put in your heart. We're here to help you. As Joe said, Joe's a professional. He's a professional business person. We have other individuals that are specialists in marketing, specialists in business, leadership training, both in ministry and in business. I tell you, this 1 hour church is going to be a vehicle God's going to use to launch you into your purpose, to fulfill your destiny and things of God. So I'm looking forward to that, Joe. I'm looking forward to this. So that's on September 10th. It's going to be powerful one time. And then from that point, it's going to be one day in there. And after that, we got a building. And God's blessing us with a building already. And so the next we're going to be having a building. We'll be putting that online here pretty soon.
Okay.
We're going to have our own building. Everything it's going to be tremendously blessed. I'm looking forward to it, Joe.
Awesome.
Joe, I'm 69 years old, Joe, and people thought I was going to retire, but God just sent me back to the mountain. He let my wings grow back again, right. And I'm coming back full. My wings strong. I'm full of fire, ready to go forth again, Joe.
That's awesome. I'm excited too, because I get a chance to help. A mentor of mine. So
yes,
that's all I want to do, is be able to help you do your thing, and I know God had blessed me too. But I know what I gained. I know what I learned. I know how I grew. So I don't mind sharing with others so they can go the same way as well. So this is the last question I have for you, and it's basically really for the platform, because this is about actionable financial literacy. So how does financial literacy and one church, how does that kind of coincide or help the people, you would think?
Well, vision and partnership are one and the same. When God gives a person a vision, he does it in a panoramic view. Just like God, when Jesus said he said, I sit in the church, first apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers, and in that group, God looks at us in a panoramic view. He'll look at me as a church. He looks at me as all inclusive, including Joe Blake, including Jerry, including Catherine. Are you following me? So God sees us as a package. So what you're bringing is a part of the panoramic view that God has. Vision and partnership are one and the same.
Yes.
You follow me? And so what God does is, God then, because God has trained you, he's given you this great gift of in business and everything, and you are a reflection of both MTI and Business Institute with all these years of experience. God just reconnected us. We know it's disconnected, but he just reaffirmed that connection. And because it's something about purpose. When God has purposed something, and we hear that voice. Yeah. We hear that voice. And so I can see actionable, your actionable business and one church, it's a part of one package. You know what I mean? Sure. Vision and partnership go together. And I can see us partnering in this, in that 1 year institute. But then I can also see, because you also have a business on your own there, I can see us channeling people into your business where you can even train them to a whole nother level. Yeah. You follow me? Yes. So we do the first phase of that 1 year within the church system that we have. But then because you're connected, then everything that you're doing and business wise, then we channel them into there. So now Joe can take it to another higher level of this. So it's all one vision, one partnership. like I heard one man say, we all in the same camp, but you got different tents.
I like that one.
Are you following me?
Like
so we just got different tents. Are you following me in those areas? And so what I see is me not coming and bringing people together who are beginners. I see us as a dream team. I see the Michael Jordan and the Urban and I see who's the other all the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see all them. I see all them the dream team coming together. I don't see high school coming together. I see the dream team all have found their purpose, and they're bringing it together like God said as one major team, and together we're gonna do something great for God together. That's how I see it.
Okay.
That God has reconnected the giants. He's connected his dream team, and we're coming forth in Jesus' name, bringing all that God has given me. What they call is a convergence, Joe.
Okay.
It's what God has done in the past, what he's done, the gift that we all have, and he creates a brand new future with that whole system. And so that's how I see us working together.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Craig, I just want to thank you, sir. I just want to reiterate to everyone that this is the new look. Well, this is the one church. I guess we're gonna have a building soon, so that'll be a good thing.
Yeah.
So we can go to church, and you'll find ABI, you'll find MTI. That's an awesome thing, and I wanted to share with everyone as well that hold on here. The other aspect of it I was sharing earlier was my seminar, which is church starts on that Sunday, and then following Saturday is when I'm going to have my actionable financial literacy and cash flow principles seminar as well, which is September 16th. So it's like 1 week apart. You go boom, boom, and so
wonderful.
Yes, and I just like I mentioned before, I just thank God that I found your ministry. I thank God that I was able to grow. My children are all doing fine. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful outcome over that 25-year period. And we've grown. So I appreciate it so much, Dr. Craig. So I appreciate it so much. All right.
You know what? It gives me great pleasure to see how you took the information and it worked in your life. Apostle Price said one time, I was riding the car with me, Apostle Frederick Price. He said, one of the things that we love about you all is we graduated a lot of people, but when we can really see someone took it and they applied it and it worked, that gives us great pleasure. So I want you to know that when I see you, your family, your children, and I can see that we had a small part to play in that, to me, that is a great reward, Joe. So again, I'm honored to be a part of your life. And I'm very proud of you, your wife, your children, and the example that you are now to the world. You are proof that if it comes to a millennial in his 30s, God can make it work in their lives.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. All right. So with that, everyone, this has been a powerful show. You need to save it, listen to it over and over again. September 10th, that's when the grand opening for the 1 hour church. And the 16th, the seminar in September. So September is going to be a month to remember.
Yes. And I want to encourage you all too, because Joe is a professional in the area of finance. So I really want to encourage you in that area, because I've known Joe for, well, I guess over 30 years, right at 30 years now. And I can say that Joe's a man of integrity. He studied to show himself approved. What he's going to share with you, it works. So I want to encourage you all to be a part of that, because that's why I love being connected with him, because he's someone that I can actually say I recommend him. So Joe, I'm very proud of you, and I know that anybody that will listen to you and get the information that you're going to be sharing, their lives are going to be changed. So I want to encourage you all to be a part of Joe's program on that day.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Pastor. Okay, so that's it, everyone. We're going to close out here and say this has been the Actionable Financial Literacy Center, Dr. Joe Blake, and my mentor, Pastor Craig. See you guys next week.